Good evening, everybody. This is Davey Jones with Coach's Corner West. We are live from our WQEL studios, and this will be probably the last week we're doing it from the studios. We have good information that we'll be back at Pizza Hut next week. Now, next week the show will begin on Tuesday evening. That's next week only because of the Labor Day situation. So we'll have Coach's Corner West live from Pizza Hut on Tuesday evening, and we'll be on WQEL Facebook. And our show brought to you tonight by Doug Lutholt and the Associates in Advanced Fiber Technology. Coach Tim Plumley, right here at Mohegan Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation. Matt Studer, Spitzer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Kia, just a mile east of the Richland Mall. Rob Lust at Edgefield Animal Clinic in Marion. John Ziegler, Drew Young, Frank Highland, and all the associates at Bucyrus Blade, serving worldwide markets since 1951, and Roger Brown at Winks Lock and Safe, South Poplar at West Warren Street, Bucyrus. Coach Tim Plumley with us right now, and Coach took a tough loss to Ashland Crestview. These guys were good. I got to be in the press box for a little while, and they surprised me as how good they were. Were you surprised by?
I won't say that it was a surprise. They're a great program. We expected them to be a really good team. We obviously thought we would respond a little better, particularly on the offensive side of the ball than what we did.
All right. These guys got into the backfield so fast, and Malachi didn't really have much time to throw the ball. Was it because of speed or size or a combination of both?
It was definitely the speed of they're a stack or an odd front. They have 3 down linemen. And they weren't big, but they were very fast. They were fast.
Well, they were back there shaking hands with Malachi before he almost had the ball.
That's right. We did later make a couple adjustments and had a little more time. But then once you get pressure on that, it's kind of hard to recover from that sometimes.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, Malachi had a very good football game. Last week, I think he had somewhere like 13 attempts, only 2 completions, and they were short.
Yes, they were short. It was a tough matchup. They played a lot of man, and then they had pressure. Anytime a good team plays man against you, it's going to shrink the windows that you have to throw. And then once you have pressure on that, it's a lot to withstand.
The one bright spot in the game, help me out, Blaine Stewart Bartow?
Yes,
all right.
He had a long run.
And a 72-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Blaine's got some wheels. He's fast. And if he keeps doing this, he'll get a few more opportunities in that. But he's still young, has some things to work on in that. But I'm sure in the future he'll get a few more opportunities.
All right, we've got some young men around the table, and we're going to be talking to them a little bit about their role in this football program before we advance to find out what's coming up this week. Dylan Bannister, who is a senior, strong safety. Also, Michael Wise, who is a receiver and has also been getting some play at defensive end. And Dillion Downing, who's also a senior and a linebacker and offensive lineman. We'll talk to these guys here in just one moment. I'm Davey Jones on WQEL Facebook. Our show brought to you by Lee Plymel and Brad Seibert at the Plymel Insurance Group, Bucyrus and Gallion. Also, Hannah Newton at Wendy's, downtown Bucyrus and Upper Sandusky. North Central State College, Mansfield, and the Crawford Success Center in Bucyrus. Vince Ponziani and all the associates at Waycraft Industries. Rod Steiger at Pizza Hut, Bucyrus, and Gallion, host of our show since 1992. And another reminder, next week our show will be on Tuesday evening, and we should be back to Pizza Hut for that show, as they are about ready to open on this weekend if everything works out right. We're also brought to you by the Burkhart family at Burkhart Farm Sales, your Case IH dealer on the Manette U Winchester Road. So let's go around the table. And up first, we have Dylan Bannister, a senior strong safety. Dylan, how's it, kind of a tale of 2 weeks. Last week and first week, number 1, you guys had to feel pretty good about yourself. I imagine there wasn't a lot of cheering going on in the locker room after last Friday night.
Yeah, after last Friday night, it wasn't
What did you learn? You gotta take something out of this to be a learning experience. And I'm not talking because I know this for sure. I've had the opportunity to talk with your coach and other coaches long enough. When you get a tough loss like that, you gotta take something to learn out of it.
We definitely underestimated this team a little bit. And I
Okay.
think
I underestimate them.
losing by that much, you really learn not to underestimate anybody.
I talked to Dan Messerschmidt, and I said, Dan, were you expecting this? And he goes, well, I kind of thought that Ashland Crestview was probably going to win the ball game, but not by that lopsided score. What specifically did you underestimate them at?
How fast they were.
Bingo,
They
that's
were
what I
a
thought
very
too.
fast team.
Yeah, that's what I thought of, because it didn't appear that their offensive line was that huge, but as I was talking to Coach Plumley here, it appeared that they were in the backfield almost before the ball got in the backfield. Quick, fast and quick. You guys couldn't figure it out right away, could you?
No, we couldn't.
All right. So what are you going to do to correct that? You got a new ball club coming in. I'll tell you right now, Northmore's not the slouch that they used to be. They used to be kind of the doormat of Morrow County. It's not that way anymore. Wait for an answer, pal.
I don't think this team is as fast as Crestview was.
Okay.
So I think we won't have to worry about that as much.
All right. So you feel a little bit more optimistic, but you're not taking them for granted, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not going to underestimate them.
All right.
They're a good team.
All right, well, listen, buddy, I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much for sharing some time with us. Coming up next, we got Michael Wise. Michael had a great week 2 weeks ago. That, you were catching everything in sight. Now, what was the difference between week number 1 and week number 2? Because these guys were all over you. And I'm not going to criticize the referees, but I thought there were a few times when they bumped you a little bit before you got to, in fact, bumped you a lot. Not only you, but your colleagues as well, before the ball got there.
I think the main difference between week 1 and week 2 was definitely their size and their speed.
Okay.
Week 1 they weren't too fast, they weren't too big, so I mean, I think I'm a pretty solidly big guy.
Okay.
So I can kind of move my way around them and get jump balls. But against Ashland Crestview, their corners are just, I mean, they're good corners.
How tall were they?
I'd say about 6'2"-ish.
All right, 6'2", so, they were good basketball players then too, right?
Yeah, they were just good corners, they had good coverage, and
How about weight-wise? I mean, were they bumping you around when you were going up for it?
number 16 I think was the one that really he could really move someone in the air. He had some pretty big strength on him.
All right, was I out of line thinking that they were bumping you around a little bit, and maybe a flag or two should have come out? I mean, it wasn't gonna make any difference in the ball game.
Yeah, I just try to play through the contact, not try to worry about too many flags coming out. If I can make a play on the ball, I try. Even if I don't,
What did you learn from this game that you can take into next week against Northmore and the future?
just keep playing physical, and everyone has to keep their head up.
All right.
We can't get our heads down.
All right, very good. Were you getting your heads down a little bit? I wouldn't blame you if you did. I had my head down a little bit.
I feel like a couple of us
Yeah.
had the head down, but I know a lot of our captains and leaders tried to keep their heads up, try to bring them back up, and
All right.
just work with them.
Michael, good job. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
And finally, we got Dillion Downing. Dylan is a linebacker and offensive lineman. And Dylan, let's talk about offensive lineman first, because I mean, we talked about their defensive line. Again, was speed more a factor than size?
Yeah, I would think speed mainly over than size, because I feel like Gabe and with Ethan and Bryant can handle pretty good guys, but for speed, like on a practice, our scout team's not very fast and they're
Okay.
average size, so we're not used to that mainly. And I think we came out thinking it was going to be a lot easier of a game than it was.
All right. I don't think, just from talking to Dan, that I thought it was going to be easy, but I didn't expect that amount of physical finesse and speed and size from their half. And so, if you guys were fooled a little bit about it, so was the media. And we didn't expect that either. What did you learn from this game that you can take into the future?
I think this game was a big reality check for us and our work ethic, especially because we've been hyping ourselves up all year. Especially, we thought we had a pretty good chance of going 2-0 and then 3-0 and so on, and having a pretty good season. I think this just checked us back in reality that we still got to work hard to get those wins. We can't just show up and play.
All right. How about the linebacker situation? Is that a regular position for you? Is this something relatively new, and what are you gaining out of the linebacker position?
For the linebacker, it's not new to me anymore. It was new to me last year, and then I came back. I don't start this year like I did last year, so I'm rotating for Mike and Will. And it's probably my favorite position. And
Why?
Because there's a lot of physicality in it,
Right.
especially. And last year, tackling was fun, especially. I got a lot more opportunities, I feel like, than I did at safety, like I was my sophomore, my freshman.
Why do you like the physicality?
Because that's just really what the game's about to me. Is just
Really?
to go out and be physical.
I had a linebacker, I won't tell you who or which school, he said, Davey, I dream about tearing people in two. Now, you obviously like it.
So it's probably a little bit harder for me though, considering I'm only 140 pounds.
You're only 140
Yeah,
pounds?
and a lot of the leagues by 170, 180.
Okay, so you dream about maybe just inflicting a little bit of injury then, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Listen, buddy, you did a good job, and I appreciate you stopping by, and thanks so much for sharing some time with us. We're going to break for a second and give a few credits here, and then talk to Coach a little about the Norwalk Golden Knights, and that comes up here in just a moment. Show brought to you in part by Blythe Freely and Todd McDougal at Freely and Company Insurance up in Dutchtown, Ted Coder at the Monarch Body Shop, Mike Kleinite at Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Mount Gilead and Marion, and Dr. Thomas M. Britton at Clubview Vision Center. Coach, we got the Northmore Golden Knights at home. Besides, I played Northmore before. I don't think they have.
We've scrimmaged them. I know.
Yeah.
Reviewing that, we scrimmaged them the last few years. Beyond that, I'm not sure.
You know, I've done the phone board for a long time, and for years, Northmore was getting their butts kicked up one side and the other. I mean, it was almost an automatic loss. Since then, in the last maybe 10 years, things have changed around. I think part of it's because Northmore is becoming, well, it's a growing community.
Sure.
They got a lot more people in the system. It's a bedroom community for Columbus. A lot of the dads work in Columbus, moms as well. And they're driving north to Morrow County. And so there's just a lot more people in the program.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. You know, they had some success in basketball for a while, and then they hired Coach Armrose, and, you know, he's really gotten the football program. But they're also dedicated to just providing right now just top-of-the-line facilities and everything. And I think that makes a difference. And you know, that I believe they'll be, if they're not already, the school of choice in Morrow County just because of the facilities and, you know, the upgrades they've made. And I think that's a very wise and prudent move on their...
Well, if they got the money, it's good to have. It's nice to spend it that
That's
way.
right. And they have. So, you know, kudos to them.
All right. What do we know about the Northmore football team?
They're very good. They're big. You know, you can talk about some big guys. They have some big guys. So, you know, it's going to be a little different. Their schemes are a little different. They're very sound fundamentally. Coach Armrose is a great coach, and he always has his guys ready to go. But it's going to be a little different matchup than what this past week was.
Can we use our speed to overcome their size?
I think so, and I think that needs to be our approach, and to find some open areas in that. I mean, I think we can run the ball on that, but it, you know, has to be a certain scheme that is going to be most effective against them.
All right. Keys to success against Northmore.
Well, I think offensively, at first we have to get off to a good start. You know, we have to get off to a good start, kind of regain a little bit of our confidence, and just be a little more balanced. Defensively, we got to stop the run. They run the ball. They're big up front. They have a big back. He's very talented. I can't think of his name. He's number 6. You know,
That's it. Right. Number 6.
Number 6. That's right.
His name's irrelevant.
Yes, and you know, we got to be physical because you know, it's 4 quarters and it's going to be a physical game, and you got to be hit, and keep getting up and doing it over.
All right. Sounds good. Coach, thank you so much for sharing some time. Next week on the show, 90% chance we're going to be at Pizza Hut, and that'll be Tuesday because of the Labor Day holiday.
Right.
Tuesday, we'll look forward to talking to you guys at that time. Up next on WQE on Facebook, it's the Winford Royals. We'll be back in just one moment.